Not be 50 shades of gray with me, it's one shade of gray. The topic is about my wife, or at least I think it's my wife, because this is about soccer moms. When I first heard that term, I thought it was amusing. Now when I hear the term, I think of a horror movie, like Invasion of the Body Snatchers, because the woman I married was not a soccer mom. She was from upstate Pennsylvania. Her father was a coal miner. There was no soccer at her school. And so what happened was when we had our first daughter, Samantha, play soccer, and how many people here played soccer when they're younger? Yeah, when you play now, kids play, they play like they're scotch taped together when they're little. It looks like a centipede running around, like their ball's magnetized. My daughter, Samantha, played, and she wasn't even part of that little clump. She was wandering around looking at the birds and the trees and doing that. So what position did they put her at? Goalie, yeah. So they had her goalie. So I'm watching the game, and the clump's at the other end of the field, and all of a sudden the ball's kicked towards where my daughter's at. And me and all the parents turned to look at her, and my daughter she had her foot, she's facing the net, she had her foot in inspecting the holes, and got her foot tangled like a fly caught in a spider web. So she's trapped there, and all the parents start screaming like a bomb's gonna go off. And I turned to my wife to see, if she's as alarmed as I am. My wife's talking to other moms, oblivious. And I smiled, because that's what I married. Then my son Brian played soccer, and she was the same way. She was cool about it. And I'm different. I'm a Philly sports fan, AKA nut job. So I know that I have to keep it cool. So at games, so I don't start booing the kids, at games I sit in a chair reading a book. Try not to get involved. I slipped up once. A 15-year-old female referee came up to me and said, "Sir, would you be the flag guy?" And I go, "The flag guy? What's the flag guy do?" "Oh, the flag guy signals when the ball goes out of bounds. Who gets it?" He gives me, and she has this giant flag she gives me. And I go, "Okay, I'll try it." She goes, "Normally a kid does it. You'll be fine." So I got really good at it. And I was running up and down, and I started getting, my daughter Samantha was playing her best friend Aggie's team. They were each 12 years old, and I got very vehement in my flag rulings. I'd do a double windmill flag, I'd do the backup, I'd do all this stuff. I was very vehement about my rulings. And if the ref ruled the other way, I'd like shake my head, no, it's this way. And the ref started changing her calls, which pissed off all the parents, who started asking me, "Aren't you tired? Don't you want to give the flag?" And I didn't. I thought I had my career. I was happy. And then Aggie got kicked by accident in the stomach. So she crumpled to the ground, and I ran on the field and flagged play to a halt, which apparently the flag guy's not allowed to do. So I'm standing over Aggie, even she's looking up at me, "What are you doing?" The 15-year-old ref comes up to me, blows the whistle in my face, and yanks the flag out of my hand. I walk back to my seat, cured of soccer fever to ever, the walk of shame, saying I'm never going out in the soccer field again. Then our son Jack is born, our third child. At that point, something clicked. Some jerk said to my wife, "Hey, he's pretty good. He should play travel soccer." And at that point, my wife went from, she loves all three kids equally, but all of a sudden she had another passion. She became a soccer mom. She became the team administrator for an 8-year-old soccer team, a position she held for 5 to 6 years. If you ask her what a team administrator does, while she's talking, you could go into the kitchen, make a sandwich, then you go out in the driveway, drive down the shore, spend a couple hours there, then come back, and she'll still be describing what a team administrator does. From my perspective, a team administrator is the buffer. You normally have, the coach doesn't done a deal with 30 parents, some of whom might be nut jobs, so now he only has to deal with one nut job, be a team administrator. And I can hear my wife now when I pull up to the parking lot at a soccer game, I can hear her from the car. I'm always late. I pull up and I hear her going, "Mark up, attack, clear." Now, it's like Patton directing the troops. And I come up, and occasionally some of the other parents meet me, and like a father will say, "Oh, you're Peg's husband?" And my wife's 5'2". She's here tonight, and so this is a delicate matter. But some of the fathers will come up and go, "You're Peg's husband?" I go, "Yeah." And they go, "Wow, I expected a bigger man." And I go, I used to be. Now, what happened was then, she got in a situation where Jack turned 13, and what team is he going to play for? There were 3 different teams that she's on the phone with. What team in the Tri-County area that he might play for that year? So she's on the phone negotiating while I'm driving the car. She's on the phone. She has one coach on hold, another one she's talking. And from the back seat, Jack and Brian are there, and Brian's Jack's older brother, and Brian just goes, LeBron, the decision. Trying to put it in perspective. Last year, she took a group of kids to England and soccer to play exhibition, to England and Scotland to play exhibition soccer. So they went there. I asked the other two kids if they wanted to go. They go, oh, no. They went there, then they come back. I said, Peg, how was England? How was Scotland? How are the people? What was the scenery like? And she goes, Jack had this header in one exhibition game. It was unbelievable. Now, one night, a while back, it's 4 o'clock in the morning. I hear noises from downstairs. I get nervous. I go look around my bed. There's no baseball bat, so I grab a slipper. In case the burglar had uncomfortable feet or something, I grab a slipper and I creep down the steps. And sitting in the dark, watching a soccer game is my wife. And I swear she had a notepad in her hand. She's watching this, and I said, Peg, what are you doing? And she said, shh. Now, she's watching the Spanish channel, and I have 3 teenagers, so it's very rare that I have any alone time. So I walk over and do the move. I put my arm around her, and she goes, no hands. I miss my wife. Now, one epilogue about this whole story. It's a delicate matter. My wife and 2 of my kids are here tonight, Brian and Sammy. Jack, of course, is not here. He's in a week-long overnight soccer camp. I'm not kidding. God knows what they do there. It's some kung fu ritual thing. I don't know. But he's at a soccer camp. Last Saturday, we went to a soccer tournament in Lancaster. It was 103 degrees outside. On the field, it was AstroTurf. It was even hotter. The kids are staggering around like they're drunk. And I'm sitting there in the shade reading my book, and the tempers are frayed. And at one point, Jack gets tackled in the box, and there's no call made. And he throws his hands up in disgust. And I hear my wife say, across the field, I hear her say, use that anger. So what I did was I thought to myself, how do I use my anger? Because she's trying to inject her passion into our son. That's great. And I said, how do I use my anger? And I thought, story slam. Okay.